Okay.
And hello, everybody, and welcome back for another wonderful edition of the Written Undead podcast. I am Jack the Beanstalker this week. And as always, I got Richard Ryan Rose on the drums. I got Angelus Maximus on the keys. And this week, filling in at lead guitar, we've got the one and only Doug Kay. What is up, my Scottish brother?
Not much, man. How you doing?
Doing fine, doing fine. So what have you been getting into lately? I've been seeing a lot of posts. You got the, I guess it's a former martial arts classes you've been teaching. What's up with that?
Yeah, my little village, there's not much for people to do. So when I came back from America, I was planning on opening a gym. And there's not many buildings around here. So they're all kind of, small and dungeony. So I call it the dungeon. And we're just getting work on that. There's a little desk in the back, a little cupboard space for writing as well, which is kind of cool.
Cool. Now, what form of martial art do you work on there? What is that exactly?
I do kickboxing. That's actually why I went to America in the first place.
Oh, okay. Well, I wouldn't have thought of America as the place to go to get major kickboxing skills. I don't know.
No,
Maybe
I was a kickboxer, and I went to help with the wrestlers with
Oh.
did MMA. I helped coach the wrestlers.
Well, now I have seen the one picture of you, celebrating out there. Do you remember that match?
Oh yeah, that was a pretty fun night. That I won that match in like minute 20.
Dang, you threw an ass whooping on somebody then.
Yeah, and it was in a shady little trucker biker nightclub thing. It's pretty weird.
How many free drinks did you get that night?
A ton, of course.
Oh my God, that's just freaking great. Well, now, what books are you working on currently?
Right now, I'm wrapping up Hope still. I keep changing. I'm not happy with it. Every time I try and read it at the end, I can't quite get it right. And then me and with Charlie working on the Blood Thistle. He's been, Charlie's like, for all my books, like I've said before in the last podcast, I like to make them as authentic and as real as possible. Even though I'm Scottish, Scottish history, we don't get taught it in school. So I have to go out there and research certain things. And Charlie's been like, I can just text my message, call him, ask him a question, he gets back to me like that. Like today he's in filming meetings, and I was able to ask him a couple of questions real quick and he got straight back to me.
Hell yeah. Yeah, now that's been my experience over this week because we were trying to have him on today. Unfortunately, things haven't worked out that he could come on with us, but we are going to have him on, which means we'll be having you back on again because that's got to be a package deal. We got to have the two of you together.
Really understand both of us when we start getting talking. You guys are going to be like, and the dude need to put subtitles on or something.
Well, see, that's where I thought this was going to be extremely funny today because you've got two Tennesseans with me and Rich in our country ass accents. Then you got Angel with his New York meets Puerto Rico accent, and then throw two Scottish guys in the mix. We'd all need subtitles.
Right. Yeah, no, he was great. He was really wanting to get on tonight, but they're currently in the process. I think they're filming 3 different things right now. I don't know how much information I give out, but yeah, they're filming 3 separate things. One's a really, really big one, and one's kind of his own thing, and then there's a third one.
So now is he doing his own stunts in that, or is he just a stunt man? What exactly is his?
He does the fight choreography. He does the action part. I was for Blood Thistle. I was watching a bunch of movies he was in. He gave me a list of them, and he didn't tell me he was in one. And I seen him, and he told me a story about when they're filming the Eagle. When they're in that waterbed, it was so cold when they were filming that the stunt guys wouldn't do it. They were like, "This is too cold." Him and his guys who did the fight choreography, they did it. Half of them got hypothermia. Like, he does everything. On the set of Gladiator, when he was getting hit with a thing, he actually busted his nose.
Oh, damn.
I heard a couple of good horror stories from him, like, because when they're doing their fight choreography, like, they go hard to make it as real as possible.
Now, is there any chance you're going to turn up in any of these movies with him at any time?
Not anytime soon. I'd like to. I'm just so busy. we're also there's a Scottish survivalist guy. I'm helping him with a zombie movie. It's called The Rabid Retreat.
Oh yeah.
I'll be in that, but you won't see my face. So I'm promoting that at the convention next month as well.
Well, cool. Now, ever since you first started writing, what's the experience been like for you? Has it been mostly positive, or what have been some of the pitfalls you've encountered along the way?
It's actually been amazing. I think the negatives are all brought on by myself and me doubting like myself, and I get hesitations about like after, for example, last podcast when we got off, I was like, oh, I should have said this, I should have said that. I was like, oh, no one's gonna like me now. That sucks. Fuck me. And and you start thinking that, but there's a lot of stuff like, and someone did actually send my message after last podcast, and he says, you mentioned that you'd planned 10 books. How do you plan that? Like, what's your thought process on that? And you kind of asked that and touched on it, and I didn't really explain it well. I kind of made myself sound a bit, like I don't know what I was talking about. But what I meant is I'm kind of selfish as an author because I think I'm kind of new. So when I go to the shop and I pick up a book, if it's not the first book in the series, I'll flip through it, and a couple of times I've just bought it anyway, and I've not been able to get into it because it's not the first book. And then for me to read a book, I like it a beginning, middle, and an end. Like that's what I was thinking. So my book, like series When Undead Rise, is 10 books, but they're books that if you went to the store and you seen one, you could pick up and read it as a standalone book. Or if you start at the beginning, there's a background story as well. So all 10 of my books are basically 10 different stories with the same characters, but there's everything tying in together.
Well, that kind of makes me think of a certain author that, well, at least on my Zoom screen, is over here to my left, because his kind of plays out that way. And I love it because I'm like you. It is nice to get to the end of something and have a little resolution, and you're not just hanging off the cliff waiting for the next thing. It's like, no, we're done, but don't worry, we're not all the way done.
Because life happens, and sometimes authors, like you'll see, I think it was Mark Tufo, someone took a big break in their books, and if it wasn't for the way they ended their books, like if you look at George R. R. Martin, he's one of my favorite authors, but I mean, at this stage, I'm banging my head against the wall waiting for Winds of Winter. My kid's going to grow up and be able to get Winds of Winter and stand in line and get it because when's it coming out? Like, and everybody's waiting on that cliff. And
and like I said, that's, it's granted, I love a good series if it has a cliffhanger, but they actually get to the end of the series, because that's what scares me more than anything, is that an author is going to have 15 books in mind, be at book 8, and they're gone. And you're just sitting there with like, man, I invested all this time and now there's nothing. Exactly. Now, so since we now know that Doug has that same similar style, Richard, what made you decide I'm not going to just leave this thing open-ended? I'm going to end this one and then start the next one using the same characters. How did you come to that decision?
Well, I wanted it to have like, because I mean, you have zombies in the first book, and then there's going to be werewolves and vampires, aliens, and stuff in the books to come. So I wanted to have a, especially for my first book in the series, I want to have the story just end with some closure. Like, okay, this could be a standalone book, but I also left it open for like, hey, I mentioned a second wave, and I give little hints at the end. Yet this story is going to keep going.
And I'm, for one, am very thankful for that, by the way. So now, Doug, who have you been reading lately? Have you had a chance to maybe if nothing else, listen to some audiobooks and some other authors that you are kind of big on?
I've not. I know on the last podcast, sadly, they announced who was doing my audiobook. I don't know if you follow current affairs, what's happening. That happened. So that's been I've kind of been put off books for a minute for right now, just because of that, especially audio. I was looking forward to getting it. Sean Chester's new book. Good friend of mine, great guy. Love his books. But I've just been right now because life happens.
Yes, it definitely does. Well, now Angel is when I finished The Great Centurion, I realized it kind of has a feel like that. Like, the war is still going on, but at the same time, you gave us a little closure for that particular part of the story. You gave us, okay, this is what happened. This is where we're at. How did you decide to end your book the way you did?
All right. Well, here's the thing, Jack. honestly, I hate cliffhangers. I'm not a fan of cliffhangers. So I told him and they don't. A lot of people don't like cliffhangers. I mean, they tend to score books 1-4. So I didn't want to be a victim of bad reviews because I want to do a cliffhanger. So I just wanted to kind of get something in between. Make
Got you breaking up a little bit there, man.
Huh?
I said you're breaking up a little bit there. You're getting kind of choppy.
Yeah, I gave Victor the idea that he needed to get revenge. But at the same time, feel like he accomplished something. So I just don't like cliffhangers. If I don't like cliffhangers, why should my readers like cliffhangers? No.
Good deal. Well, now, Doug, have you looked into doing just? I guess I keep kind of coming back to your kickboxing style and all that. Have you thought about doing just maybe an action book that's based around like just a kickboxer or a martial artist? You're almost like the old school kung fu fighting kind of a thing.
So since I started doing this, I don't know how it is. Like, I don't know if people that work at Starbucks like coffee, but I coach MMA and I fight myself. I can't bring myself to watch it on TV. I've been an extra on a couple of TV shows, and I've never even watched them TV shows that I'm in. I was in Grimm and I was in Librarians. I've never watched them. I just
wow.
I don't know. So fighting book, I don't know. Just couldn't. The closest I've got to is one I'm working on too right now. It's about Russia, funnily enough, and Korea invading the US.
You could be a soothsayer right now.
That'll be the closest I'll get to like combat and close combat fighting and martial arts.
So now,
any of your characters martial artists?
No, I've not even put that in, which is funny. I've had other authors ask me questions about certain fighting styles, and I've been able to help them and answer. And I was thinking to myself, I wonder why. Maybe I should put that in my book, but I just don't. I don't know. When I get into the writing mind frame, that combat and training and coaching it's as if it's like has to get out of my head to concentrate on my writing and other stuff. It's like my job. It's like that's my day job. I turn it off so I can relax and write, kind of thing.
That actually makes a lot of sense. Yeah, it's like when I know all about forklifts, and I've even joked with some different authors about y'all need to get a big reach truck in there and have it spin in circles and decapitate zombies and all that. And yet, I guess kind of like you, it's like I try not to bring work home. I'm like, that needs to stay over there. I'm going to do something else over here. Yeah. And so it really does make sense. I guess at first I just assumed because you have the expertise that it would just be natural. It would just flow onto the page. But when you put it that way, okay, makes sense.
Now, Doug, I got a question for you, Doug. Are you big on history? And if you are, what is your favorite historical period to study?
It's always been, Scotland and fighting the Romans. Always. When I was at school, we had to build a wall in our primary school. And after we built the little wall at the boxes, we went on a trip to Hadrian's Wall. And that's why it's stuck in my head, and it features so heavily in Blood Thistle. It's just something as a kid that it's stuck in my head. And then all through high school, they tried to teach us about World War I, World War II. But I was always more interested in Romans and the Scottish invasion, the Gauls, the Boadicea Wars. And that's why I think, so Charlie, what he does is, because Scotland doesn't teach Scottish history, it teaches English history. Fuck the Queen. So basically what we do is his group goes around schools and they teach people about Scottish history, weapons, what it was like in those days for people who lived here.
Well, well, I know from the last time that I got to speak with you, we kind of touched on Scottish folklore and Scottish history and things of that sort. For this audience here, let them know some of your favorite Scottish folklore.
I don't know. We don't wear anything under our kilts. I get asked that all the time. I mean, there's nothing under there.
I don't know if I would phrase it that way.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, no, there is. Stuff
No
under it.
undergarments. Yeah.
Yeah, no undergarments.
You got no draws on.
Yeah, the whole unicorn thing. Like I don't know if you've seen it on my story today. I took a short video of outside the gym right before that. Where the video started, there's a gigantic unicorn, stone unicorn. It's in the middle of our village, and there's unicorn statues all over Scotland.
Mm-hmm.
And there's different theories as to why we have them and what it means. That's in my book's going to be the most accurate. And then there's the little fairies, little will-o'-the-wisp things that like guide you if you see them in the woods.
Mm-hmm.
Since my daughters have came here from America, they say it's like a fairy tale. Like they can walk out and just there's castles, there's woods. It's just beautiful.
Awesome. Well, now, do you have anything in Scotland that would be like the equivalent to, say, the Sasquatch or the Yeti? Anything
Yeah,
along
Loch
those
Ness
lines?
Monster.
Very good question, Jack.
Of course it is.
We have the Loch Ness Monster. We have I can't remember what it's called. There's this thing. It's like a wolf. It's like a gigantic beast. That was actually on the news right before COVID started. It was on the news here. Someone in the next village had woke up and took a video on her phone. I can try to find a clip and send you this. It's amazing. It's from her back window. It made the
definitely.
Like a beast of black man?
Yes, that's it. This thing was huge. It was like a wolf, but it was enormous. And it walked across this farmer's field, probably like 500 yards from our house. And it's clear as day on camera how big this thing is. And you can see the fence post. And so the news team went there and they stood next to the fence post to give you a guide of the height. And there's been videos of that thing popped up all over.
Wow. I don't know how the hell I've missed that, because that would definitely be something that would be on my radar that I'd want to see. I'd have to check that out. So definitely send us that.
There's been theories that it's like some kind of like cougar, the way the angle of the video was, but this thing was huge.
Cool. So the will-o'-the-wisps, if you were actually be able to get close enough to one of them, do they have like a physical embodiment, like a person or a creature of any kind, or is it just an energy?
My best explanation would be like, you know, when you see those ghost hunter videos, like the ghost adventure, and take the orbs that go past.
Mm-hmm.
I'd say if you see one in the woods, it'd be more like that. Like physically, it's a little going through. It could be like dust or air particles catching the sun and just going past like that. That kind of. But yeah, like orbs on like a video camera, or like if you have your phone and you're panning your phone, you have the orb go past like that.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Well, let's go on to a little different topic here, because I'm country as cornbread. Cornbread's a food. So let's talk about food a little bit. What is the average Scottish dinner or supper, whichever y'all prefer over there? What is that normally consisting of?
It could be anything. The main thing, everything here is mainly deep fried. Like,
sounds like us.
Yeah, sounds like yourself.
When we came here, the first night we were here, the kids had haggis. They loved it. They had king rib, which is basically, you know, the spicy McRib. You know the rib you got at McDonald's.
Huh?
Well, they have those here at fish and chip shops, and they're just deep fried. All of our fish is super fresh and deep fried. Haggis is deep fried. Pizza is also deep fried.
What?
Yeah.
Okay, wait a minute. Hold up. We're in the South and we deep fry every damn thing.
We
How
deep
have
fry
we not-
Twinkies.
And Snickers.
Yeah.
How have we
had
not deep fried a
Twinkies, we would
pizza?
deep fry.
Well,
Wow.
damn it.
Behind.
What was that, Angel?
Yeah, you're falling behind, Jeff. Now.
I know. I'm gonna have to deep fry pizza now.
So,
Who knew?
and they are delicious. They basically take the pizza in front of you and quickly flash fry it or deep fry it, and it is delicious. And then after that, you get your deep fried Mars bar, your deep fried Milky Way. But we also have a free health service, so you know we can kind of do that.
Well, see, this is why we have got to continue to get people to reach out to the whole world, because there is so much you just don't know. Because I didn't know that basically Scotland was the sister of the deep south of America.
Yeah, I didn't either.
It's the same thing.
Yeah,
Holy crap.
if we can put it in a deep, if we can deep fry it, we're gonna deep fry it, or at least try.
Well, you've got a spot in my heart, my Scottish brother.
Mhm.
We are touched over here, absolutely touched over here right now. Eat your heart out, New York. They probably do good just to get like Libya or something as like their sister food.
Their pizza's too thin to deep fry, just like crumble.
Yeah, it'd disintegrate. Wouldn't be good.
Yeah.
Chicago, on the other hand, ooh, drop that in some grease and watch it flow.
Mm-hmm.
So now, obviously, when I talked to you the last time, again, we got a different audience here. What were things like for your wife when she first stepped foot into Scotland, when you finally got to take her home?
I don't know. She's here. You can ask her.
Well, put her on. Don't be shy.
Tell her what it's like. Tell her what it's like.
Hello.
Hi. It was absolutely beautiful. I couldn't believe it. There
This
was
is
a
so
day
cool.
when Doug took me to Edinburgh, I was quiet. I was just like, I couldn't talk. And he's like, Kim, and I'm like, just don't talk to me.
Awesome. So, was there any kind of an adjustment period, whether it be the climate, whether it be, well, the food, anything like that you had to go through early on?
The food. It's a lot different. Like
So
shopping.
what was your take on haggis? Did you try it?
I tried it. I like it.
Okay. Well, there's a vote for it. Hell, I may have to figure out how to try to make it here in the States and see how it goes. Of course, if I wreck it. Ugh.
Now, correct me if I'm wrong. Haggis is like a sheep's stomach, right?
Yeah, it's all everything, intestines and stuff.
Intestines, lungs.
The lungs, everything. Yep. But you wouldn't notice. You wouldn't know that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
I'll try
it's
anything
kinda-
once.
But the blood pudding, that was nasty.
I've heard horror stories about that stuff.
Yeah.
It's like Marmite.
Ugh.
Ugh,
Yeah,
couldn't
you
do
just
it.
had to bring that up. Me and Rich did do that
So
for
you tried
everybody
that
to
one.
see. Yeah,
Ugh.
on air.
Oh no.
Yeah, don't do that. And what was bad, I couldn't find the actual Marmite like everybody else gets. So I wound up with the New Zealand version of it, and the company that made it, its name was Sanitarium.
Ooh.
That tells you all you need to know. It was a taste test, a lot of ugly faces, and then right in the trash.
I bet. All right. Well, here's Doug.
All right. Oh, and nice tats, by the way.
Thank you.
Hey,
Well, that was fun.
yeah. Building
So now-
international relations.
When do you plan on trying to make a trip back to the States?
Well, I'm not sure. My wife is talking about it maybe next month. She's got some stuff going on, but it might not be for a while now once we open the gym. And
Mhm.
then I'm locked into pretty much the convention circuit for the rest of this year. I'm doing the For Love of Horror. I'm doing
Ooh,
that Comic Con, another Scottish Comic Con. I'm doing Comic Cons pretty much every other month this year. Yeah.
dude, that's not a bad thing. Get
I
out there
know,
and
I'm
hustle,
excited.
man. Hustle. I mean, because Rich, he's got a show coming up in May. So if y'all want to decide to make your trip to the States in May, swinging through East Tennessee, come hang out in the Smoky Mountains with us, because I'm going to be there in character.
Oh,
So,
wow, that sounds good.
Spoiler
Come down to
alert.
the Bigfoot Festival.
Mm-hmm.
Be
Oh,
good
try all
time.
types of food.
What was that, Doug?
We can make all types of food.
Oh, yes. In fact, hell, bring a few of your books with you too, and we'll just put you there at the end of the table. The three of us will line up, and then somebody will invariably walk up that has read book 2 and punch me in the face. But it's what you do for entertainment. What do you do?
Yeah,
So,
Jackson
let me-
Billing.
Kind of like that. Raw. So, Doug, when you're not, because I know you're busy, I know you're absolutely busy, but before you got as busy as you are, did you have any hobbies? Anything that you would do just to kind of take your mind off real life for a minute?
Yeah, I would drink a lot. And then
Good man.
I would also I mean, I paint miniatures, I paint little things. Like right now, I've been painting little zombie guys for the Walking Dead miniature game. Comic books I read, video games play constantly. And another main thing was costuming and cosplaying. So I did all the time.
Cool. Now, just kind of staying in that same vein there, what game had you hooked the last time you were really online, really playing?
Oh, I play Call of Duty Warzone every single night without fail.
Okay.
Because all my friends are still in America, so like in the next couple hours is the best time for them to be on and me to be on together.
Yeah.
So we play that. Back for Blood just came out. That zombie game is kind of Left 4 Dead. That's been pretty good.
So now, do you have like a small group that you run with, or do you have 7, 8, 9 different people that you all get together and basically have your own little militia and go out there and kick ass?
We have my buddy called Fly. He's actually he's like in a Eastern European SWAT team in real life. So we play with him and he tells stories. And then my buddy Nick, he's security at the hospital in Oregon, and we just us three will run with whoever, and we'll just talk about our day. And whoever we play with must think that we're crazy. Like Fly was telling us that someone walked into the hospital or wherever he was working that day with a bomb vest on. And then he sent us all the video on our phones and we're looking and laughing. And then Nick's telling us about some girl that threw diarrhea at him. And then so the people in our squads must be like, what? Who are these people? So we usually try and play together with randoms, and then it's funny just seeing the reactions. We talk about our daily business.
Oh, that would be hilarious. Okay. Most dangerous groups you have to fight. Adults with military experience that like to play Call of Duty versus 12-year-olds.
I would take my chances against the adults because some of the stuff that these 12-year-olds come out with, I don't know how many kids last night wanted to sleep with my mom. Like it's unbelievable. The stuff they come out with, and they're only 12, and like they will go on for about 12 minutes without even breathing. Just straight swear
Call
words.
of Duty. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you out there.
Oh, you're
All right, now what was it you just said though, Rich? I didn't even catch it.
I suck at Call of Duty.
Yeah, my big thing.
I
can't do first person. That's my big thing. It kind of gives me like almost a vertigo feel. So I'm that guy that you see in the middle of the battlefield that's just kind of running in circles, holding a button down, hoping I'm doing something while looking at the map the whole time. Like I'm not even seeing the game. So that's why I'm more of a like God of War siphon filter from back in the day, third person. I need to be able to see my little guy. As long as I can see my little guy, I'm all right. But at the moment,
did you play Days Gone? It was set in Oregon.
No, I haven't, but I've heard a lot about it. I got a friend of mine who just loved that game.
It was the scenery in that game was beautiful. It was completely accurate because at the time we were in Washington, and a lot of the locations were actually there. It was great.
Which game?
Okay.
Days Gone.
Which game? Oh, Days Gone. Yeah, that is an excellent game. I love that.
Okay,
game.
well, that's 2 recommendations.
Really
Angel, have you played Days Gone?
No, I haven't actually.
I think we have homework.
And Last of Us is always a classic as well.
Even better. Get it. Well, hell, that means a lot of people played it. And like I said, my guy at work just swore by it. But there was another one, since we're working with the whole zombie theme, the one with Norman Reedus, where he was like, I guess, collecting spirits what was that?
He's like a UPS delivery guy. You got to spend
basically, yeah. And the guy described it like it's so realistic. Like if you put too much weight on, you can't hardly move. And if you fall down, you can't hardly get up. And I'm just like, I think I would probably be just too stressed out playing something like that.
Death Stranding. I couldn't get into it.
That's it.
Yeah, it was too weird.
See, I'm more of a hack and slash kind of guy. It's always been my style. I'd be like the old running joke about the idiot where the guys are getting ready to run into a battle. And so everybody's like, okay, you're going to go here and you're going to go there. Hey, where'd Charlie go? And he's halfway across the battlefield going, raw, and just shooting everybody. And everybody's like, oh, he's fucked. That's me. I'm Charlie running across the damn battlefield.
George!
Damn Skippy. What I always say, damn the torpedoes, full speed ahead. So now, Doug, you got the school coming open. Is that going to affect your ability to have time to write?
No, I actually factored that in. That's why there's a little office in the back room, and during the day is when I'm going to. Now it's going to be my writing time. Usually it's at night, but I think now it's going to be midday because I'm not going to do classes between 9 a.m. and 4 p.m.
Okay.
So my chill out time, relax, go home, eat tea and biscuit, read Harry Potter, and right.
Well, you mean overseas biscuits? We got
Yeah.
different biscuits over
Oh,
here.
that's right. Yeah, you guys are basically, yeah.
Yeah, ours ain't
Cookies.
sweet.
We call them cookies.
Yep, cookies.
So I want to actually, I'm going to backtrack on something because I didn't get a chance to say something about it and point it out earlier. But when you got to talking about how you love checking out the Scottish versus the Romans back in history and all that, and I'm sure if you looked at Angel, you see that he's wearing chainmail
Yeah.
as a Roman soldier. So if I could get the two of you in a room right now, how much danger, even with the chainmail, is Angel in right now as a true legionnaire?
It depends how drunk he's willing to get.
I got a feeling, Angel's that I love you, man, drunk. I'm just saying.
Well, there's a reason why Rome never conquered Scotland. So, you know.
But that's what happened. We would probably get drunk and then go out and get thrown in jail.
Yeah, that's the most likely what's going to happen. That's most likely going to happen.
What
Yeah,
happened
and
to
that
the
you're-
9th Legion? What happened to Angel and Douglas? They just disappeared.
I don't think we'd be fighting. I mean, I'll be honest. I don't think we'd be fighting. I think we'd just get chummy with each other and, you know, put Jack to the lions.
Hey, wait a minute. Y'all heard that shit, Rich? Well, throw me to the damn lions. You know, I'd wind
Who
up
you the
turning them,
lions?
I'd wind up turning them into pets.
You're a cat person anyway.
Woof, woof. Jack, woof.
Hey, don't even be funny about that. Them damn dog bites hurt. So, hey,
Yeah.
Doug, the area that you live in, what's it known for? Because like I come from a small town in Murray County. It's one of our little counties in Tennessee. It's called Culleoka, which is the Indian word for Sweetwater. And for a long time, because we had a railway system that ran through there that transported tons and tons of cantaloupe, we were known as Cantaloupe County, is what we were. What are you guys known for?
We're a tiny little village right outside Edinburgh. We're pretty much the main gateway to the north of Scotland. There's 3 bridges that connect our side of the water to the Edinburgh side, which is the south side. And we have the train in Harry Potter goes through here once a week. That's like the only exciting thing is here. Our town is the shape of it's called Inverkeithing, but everyone knows it's Divot. Like my gym's called Divot Dungeon.
Mhm.
And if you're from Divot, it means you're from Inverkeithing. That's our little town because I don't know when it was, but when the English were invading, they used to go down that hill, and when they got to the bottom is when they'd always be attacked. It's like a compressed valley, but it's so small. But if you're coming from Edinburgh, which is the capital, you have to go through our village.
So y'all would almost serve as a choke point in any
Yeah.
kind of a battle situation or whatever. Okay, that's freaking pretty cool. Well, I mean, not if you live there and, you know, invading armies are coming through, but historically speaking, it's pretty damn cool.
Yeah.
Now, have you thought about doing any historical writings based around your home area and where you come from? I mean, purely fiction, but
Yeah,
using that.
I know I maybe on later down the line, I've thought about doing a novel set in my current like universe here.
Mhm.
And because in my current story, Europe's untouched. So I figured, what if, even though it's untouched, they think they're safe, something was to happen? And I know that the area so well, I could explain it in the books pretty easily and get across stuff. But I think that would be a little bit later on down the line because I've already got like 8 other projects ongoing. But it's something that I have thought about, yeah.
Cool. Well, if you could go to any place on the planet and for 1 year, you get to just sit and write in this locale that you picked out, where would it be? Not counting where you live. Yeah, you got to eliminate where you live. So you actually got to travel. Where do you want to go?
Probably Texas.
Well, hell yeah. Hey, the man probably
Yeah.
likes a good steak. But well, that's actually, I forgot, that's where Rich is at currently. He's in San Antonio.
I'm from Tennessee. I'll be back in Tennessee next year, but yeah, I live in San Antonio, but Texas ain't for me. I don't want to be bad mouthing Texas, but it is not for me.
Yeah, I was figuring he'd pick like a tropical jungle somewhere in the middle of, you know, the sweatiest, hottest place ever, and he's writing with parchment and a feather quill pen, you know.
I'd be happier on the coast, instead of like, in a big city full of people.
It's not
Everywhere
bad.
you go is freaking crowded. And I hate people anyway, so everywhere I go, there's more people. So
I hate people too. I think is it everybody that writes hates people.
Hey, this is why I'm saying you need to just go ahead and come to Townsend, Tennessee, get you a nice cabin up there in the hills,
mhm.
look out at all the beauty, find a place near a lake, and just love it. I guess I'm hyping my own state just a little bit, except for Memphis. We don't really claim them. They're kind of like
That's
that.
not really, yeah.
Yeah, they're kind of like that adopted kid. It's like, Memphis is over there. If Arkansas wants them, hey, $10, take them.
It's more East Arkansas than it is West Tennessee.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and usually people are out trying to steal land. Us, we're trying to give it away. Here, take that. Jesus Christ. So the regions that surround you, kind of thinking along that same vein, are there any areas where you're just like, I ain't going to that town? They can have whatever they got. I didn't lose nothing there. I don't need nothing from there. I'm not going there.
Oh, me?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
England.
around you. England, well, I mean,
England.
like just in your small area though. Like, so I'm looking at like my state, and we got a county down here that we just like, nope. So around you from where your hometown is, just surrounding you with, let's say like 150, 200 mile radius or kilometer radius.
We could probably fit four of my countries in your state. Every town around us is great.
Okay.
If you're in Scotland, we all love each other. We just don't like England.
I can understand that. Yeah, I mean, we kind of had an issue with them at one time too. So
Yeah.
We won.
yeah,
We won.
it happens. Winning. So, Doug, I kind of wonder if you could ask your fans a question, any kind of question about what they think about how you write or what they would like to see you write or whatever. What kind of a question would you like to ask your fans?
Do they like how I currently have the stories where it goes from character to character, or would they prefer just a single book about one character and know his whole story? Because right now, one chapter is about one group and then jumps to another group, then another group, and then back. Kind of bounces between three separate groups in three separate locations.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know if people would rather just focus on one group and read a book about that, or continue how it is.
Okay, that's actually a damn good question, because I mean, I've never really thought about that, because I have had books where the author would deviate away from part of the story that I was really into. Certain characters were doing a certain thing, and I was just all into it. And then all of a sudden, I'm off with this other group doing another thing, and I'm like, tapping my foot, like, okay, when are we going back over here? Okay, this is cool and all, but I need to go back over here. So never.
Yep. I know the feeling, Jack. I know the feeling.
So I guess that's a damn good question. I guess for me, damn, that is a hard question, because I guess it really depends on what each group is doing. Because if it's just like one group is just simply going out to get supplies, while these other two groups are in the middle of freaking full scale combat, I'm probably going to want to stick to the combat more, obviously. But you know what, hell, I guess I kind of would like it where you go from group to group, because I'm getting a little respite from each one, getting a chance to catch my breath, go over here and do something, go here and then come back and then raw all over again and then start running through. So I guess I could actually kind of like it that way if it were me. What about you, Richard? How you like them laid out?
When I like to lay them out, if I'm going to have a big battle scene, I like to, carry that from start to finish for the most part, but sometimes I'll bounce back and forth. But at the end of my first book, you've got the boss battle going on at the temple, then you've got the battle going on in Stillwater at the same time. So I'm kind of having to bounce between those two battles going on simultaneously, and that was a challenge, but I managed to make it work. But I try to stick to one thing at a time, but it just depends. It depends on what's going on at that moment. Sometimes I'll have two major things going on at the same time and bouncing back and forth. It's Yeah, it's just subjective. I mean, I don't really have a cookie cutter way of doing it.
So I guess, Doug, that's kind of your approach to it, I would assume. You don't really have a cookie cutter, as he said, way of
No.
approaching it. You just kind of let it flow.
Yeah, but hearing how he was explaining that, for example, like how he explained it, I would like to, from reading that, read one like battle one, start beginning and end of a battle, as opposed to jumping about. Like, but then on the other hand, I'd also like a little gap, because if it's late at night and I'm into that one part, and then I see, oh, the next chapter is about something different, cool, I can just call it a night there, and then I can pick up tomorrow with something else. It kind of, it pulls you.
Oh, and there's that
With
word
being
again.
said,
Hmm.
I want to say, with that being said, I do like to give the readers a break in between major
Yeah.
action scenes. You know, like, okay, we've had this big battle now. Let's throttle back a little bit. Let's catch our breaths, and then we'll let the shit hit the fan here in a little bit.
That's why I like to pause and like go to bed and pick up the next day, or
Mhm.
no, I'm not gonna miss out on anything by going to sleep and not reading the
Right.
next chapter.
So, and see, that's one thing, like with Rich, the way he was describing his, I'll take it a little step further. I look at it a lot like, say, a Star Wars movie. How you've got a battle happening on Endor. At the same time, there's a battle happening in space as they're trying to destroy the Death Star. Spoiler alert, they do.
Yeah.
You got all this going on, and it's that pop back and forth as they go. And again, if you don't have to go to bed, if you don't have to stop at any point, and you can just keep reading, to me, that is a really fun way of doing it, because it gives you that effect. Like, you're literally in two places at the same time, because you know that both events are happening at the same time. But like you said, sometimes I don't have time to keep going like 3, 4, 5, 6 chapters straight like this way. You need to give me something in the middle, an intermission somewhere
Yeah.
there in the middle of all of it. So that's a fascinating thought. I can't believe we've made it this many shows in and we've never really talked about that, like the pacing, the flow. How do you lay everything out? Now, is this something you actually thought about before you started writing the very first book? Even along the same vein of how far out have you already thought about the characters and where we're going?
I originally just wrote a book about Jake, and then I thought to myself, well, I was writing these side characters in, and I was like, well, I could do this person, because I'm so, it's like whenever I write something in a book, I don't like loose ends. Like, they just make my ass itch, so I have to kind of fix it, right? So
All right, Abraham.
when it came to like people just appearing, I wanted people to know how they got there. So after Jake's first chapter, I wrote a chapter on a guy called Nick, and then went back to Jake, and I was like, well, let's put more on Nick, and then it just kind of took on its own thing. And before I knew it, Jake's one book had stretched out and had all these other characters that were now invested in it, and their own became like their own books.
So you didn't really have a pre-planned Mike Talbot type, like this was going to be the guy that was going to follow them. It was going to be all about them. You just kind of went, I got these people and I'm just going to sprinkle them in and see what happens.
I was like halfway through my book and I was like, well, I feel like people are going to wonder how this guy got here. Like, not the main character, but how these side characters got there. So then I started writing about them, and I was like, well, this is taking up a whole chapter. And then before it became a couple of chapters, and I was like, okay, I don't think I can just do one character, one book. It's going to have to be, and then that's how it came about for me. But at the same time, I have also done one book I've done on just one character, where it's just straight line follows him from A to B to C.
Okay. Well, something I know a lot of people are into, a lot of people meaning me, I like some humor within my zombie horror, whatever. I like some humor in my books, period. Whether it be snarky humor, sarcasm, just straight up slapstick funny. See Nick Plumridge for that. How much humor will people find in your series?
I think they'll find different kinds. Like, most of my humor is like there's a lot of vulgar swear words, which Amazon's already put me up for. Which I guess they're cutting down. They're really being strict on that. I had 22 things I had to fix the other day. My notifications, Amazon now. I don't know if it's because I'm in the UK or this is all over. Because in the US they don't have this problem, but now I'm in the UK and I'm uploading it to Amazon UK. I'm getting warnings for vulgarity for a swear word.
Really?
Yeah. So I don't know if it's because someone complained or it's just because the format in here, when I tried to get my books printed, it's not doing it. I was going to ask that in one of the groups actually on Facebook we're in, because this is the first time I've done the books from being in the UK. I've always done it in America, and I've never had this issue ever.
Yeah, that's kind of
So
got me tripping, because some of the other UK writers that I've listened to, I mean, they got their vulgarity in. Well, maybe it's not quite as much as, come to think of it, it isn't quite as much as some of the more, American style authors that put out stuff where, I mean, they just literally, every other word that
yeah,
can go with something vulgar, and it's fine. Nobody gets pissed about it.
that was my first book when it came to America. But then when I tried to get prints here for Comic-Con, I was getting these warnings and notifications. I had 22 that I've had to fix the last week. And it wasn't even I didn't think they were. I mean, I guess I'm just used to writing like how my characters would talk. Yeah, there might be a couple.
Well, yeah, that and that's what we want.
Yeah, and because there's fucking zombies trying to get your face off. You're not just
Yeah,
gonna say,
no
oh
fucking shit.
gosh, Jiminy Cricket, gee golly. No, it's like, holy fuck, this guy's trying to eat me. Like,
yeah, exactly.
right?
My mom's got on to me about my vulgar language in the book, but that's the only person that's had any issues so far. But well, other family members, but Amazon hasn't given me crap over it. But
so maybe there is some kind of a censorship thing going on over there a little bit. Might be something worth looking into.
Yeah, I was going to ask it in the group, because I know there's a lot of UK authors in the groups too. So I was going to ask if they got these warnings that I've been getting of these violation things popping up. So my humor is usually just one-liner, funny one-liners that characters will say. There's a couple of characters that think that the zombie apocalypse is awesome because now their life is like, before they were like in their mom's basement drinking Mountain Dew. Now they get to strap a skateboard to their arm and go out and fight zombies.
Ooh, I never thought about using that. Angel, that's a different kind of shield, bro. What kind of stat points would that have? Skateboard on the arm.
Too many, man. Too many. I can't think about it right now.
Well, that's more homework for you. Figure out the strength of a skateboard when it comes to taking a hit. How many hit points does skateboard have? And can upgrades be added to said skateboard? I'm thinking spikes.
Good. I imagine it could be upgraded. So yeah.
All right. Well, Doug, we're getting close to the end of the time frame right here. So we're going to end this show the way we end every show. We're going to start off with my cohorts and then make our way to you. So, Angel Ramon, where can we find you, brother?
Yes, thank you, Jack, for the wonderful introduction. You can find me on Amazon on Angel Ramon. Just look up my name for my zombie books, or you can look up Angelus Maximus for my historical fiction books, and
which I just finished.
Yes, and I look forward to you reading books 2 and 3. I hope. And also, I have this new book coming out. I have the book one for those who pre-order the copy of King Minos, Master of the Minoan. It's more of a SimCity kind of idea, which I'm sure you're familiar with, Jack.
Which are very fun, by the way.
Yeah, I love SimCity, all of them, except the newest one. The newest one was garbage, so.
Tell it like you feel.
You can find me on my group, the Legions of Angelus Maximus, and on the Written Undead, which I try to make post daily. Although this week I might be absent because I'm editing the new book. Oh, that's so much fun.
Yeah, love that.
I don't know about that, but there you go. There you go, Jack.
All righty. Richard, Ryan, my main man, Rose. What's happening?
All right, you can find me on Amazon, Goodreads, Audible, and iTunes. Also, you can look up Richard R. Rose, author, on Facebook. And I do have a website, still in need of some work, but richardrrose.com. And not to mention get on the Richard R. Rose author on Written Undead. Check out the new cover art for the upcoming prequel, The Rougarou War, a Wild-Eyed Southern Boys prequel. So got the cover art done, and it's going off to the editors on Monday. So we should have it released in all formats, probably looking at an April release date. And right now, I'm currently back on book 2. And mark this day, May 7th, Bigfoot, the Smoky Mountain Bigfoot Festival in Townsend, Tennessee.
And
Be
there
there.
will be a certain villain in attendance.
Oh, yeah. Bear Baron himself will be there too.
Well, now, Doug, first off, thank you so much for coming on and hanging out with
Yeah,
me
no
again.
problem, man.
This is the second time we've got to kick it, dude. You're one of my faves.
I feel like I'm a little underdressed. You guys are all like dressing the part. So I think I'm gonna have to do something special next time now.
Hey,
Do
man,
it.
come in like full on Scottish garb, bro. Break the kilt out. Just don't show us that you don't have anything under it.
I think that might be Charlie, but I think I might take it one step further than that. I might have to go a little bit above and beyond that. Yeah.
Ooh, I like it. All right, so now, Doug, if everybody wants to get their hands on this series of yours, brother, where
Yep.
can they
Uh,
find it?
Amazon's the best place. If you're on Facebook, author Kay-Fraser, Instagram, author Kay-Fraser, or search When the Dead Rise, and it should pull up either one. Follow me on there. I've not been very active for the last 8 months because of the move, but we're settled now. We're getting all the books are arriving, all the pro materials are arriving for Comic-Con, so we're going to be more active on those pages. And my very first newsletter should be coming out by Friday.
Cool. Be sure to post a link to that so I can get
I will on
subscribed.
the groups. Yep. And thanks for having me, guys. You've been great.
Well,
It's been fun.
for Richard Ryan Rose, for Angelus Maximus, for the one and only Doug K, I am Jack, and we are out.